Fantastic Four has a good rating. People seem to love it, but it is failing at the box office, just like the many numerous movies that have come before it, like Thunderbolts and Captain America Brave New World. I am still a fan of the MCU. I still go and support the movies because there have been a couple of gems throughout phases 4, 5, and 6. So I am still on board with the MCU. I am excited for Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars and Spider Man Brand New Day. I am not a Marvel hater. I like Marvel movies still. But I think that a lot of people have left the train. The box office is going down, and I feel like people are sort of abandoning the MCU. Here are my top 5 reasons why I think people are abandoning Marvel, and I feel like these are pretty good reasons. So, without further ado, here we go. Number 5 is too many inconsistent Marvel shows. Since 2021, Marvel has released a large number of TV shows: WandaVision, The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Loki, What If, Hawkeye, Moon Knight, Miss Marvel, She Hulk, Secret Invasion, Echo, X Men 97, and even more. Many viewers, including myself, feel like the TV shows have diluted the brand a little bit. And I think that putting so many TV series in the Marvel Cinematic Universe on Disney Plus was a mistake in hindsight, because a lot of the series weren't good. They were really subpar in quality. They really felt like big budget movies, kind of like the Star Wars Disney Plus shows did. A lot of them did not need to be television series. They could have been their own movies, and I feel like the series kind of hurt the brand overall, unfortunately. There are some good television series like Moon Knight, which I enjoyed. I did not like the finale of Moon Knight, but I enjoyed the first 5 episodes. And I love the Loki series, season 1 and 2, I thought were really great. But other series like Secret Invasion, my god, man, that was just terrible. Miss Marvel, I did not enjoy. And I thought that the Falcon and Winter Soldier was okay. And I liked WandaVision. I think that WandaVision is pretty good overall. But yeah, I think there were too many series, and they should have been just like 1 or 2 a year tops. But in Phase 4, they just really made too much content, and I think it hurt the brand overall. Number 4 is too many bad films in Phase 4 and 5. Phase 4, I think, really hurt the MCU in the long run. And I think that a part of it, it's a new beginning, but at the same time, there is no clear direction in Phase 4. It almost feels like the producers are trying to make anything they want, and they're saying what sticks with the audience and what doesn't. And it doesn't feel like they have a cohesive plan in place, kind of like in Phase 1, 2, and 3. And Phase 4 and 5 are okay at best. And I think that I like Phase 5 a lot more than Phase 4, because Phase 4 is just really mediocre. There's maybe 1 or 2 projects that I like, and that's really bad, especially coming off like a fantastic Phase 3, which is probably my favorite phase of the MCU. Phase 4, I think, has too many duds. There's Black Widow, which is fine. I think Black Widow is serviceable. It's just not really all that memorable, and it could have been a lot better and should have been made like when Scarlett Johansson's Black Widow was still alive. You got The Internals, which I think is a bad movie. I did not like The Internals. I think it's just really a bad film with really boring characters. You could have made a series with that. I think that it would have been a lot better. You could have developed every character more and just given more time to this story, but I just didn't really like the story they were telling, so I don't know if I would have watched a series. but I think that the series would have been a better approach. You got also Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, which I did not like. I did not like the direction of this Doctor Strange sequel. It was really just not as good as the first one. I really liked the first Doctor Strange, and I did not like what they did with Wanda. Wanda was one of my favorite characters in Phase 3, and I think that they really butchered her character, unfortunately. I love Elizabeth Olsen, I love her, but they just didn't do her justice, and I feel bad for Wanda's character. Hopefully, she's gonna come back as a variant, and she's not yet dead. But yeah, Multiverse of Madness was just really a bad film, in my opinion. You got Thor: Love and Thunder, which is absolute garbage. It's my least favorite film of the MCU by far. I really don't like Thor: Love and Thunder. I hate it to death. I wish it had never been made. And then you got Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, which is fine, kind of like Black Widow. I don't hate Wakanda Forever. I think it's a perfectly watchable film, but it's just not as good as the first Black Panther, which I loved. And I understand like that there were impossible circumstances surrounding Black Panther Wakanda Forever, but they also made kind of questionable decisions behind the scenes, in my opinion. And I thought the movie was fine. And the only great film in Phase 4, in my opinion, is Spider-Man No Way Home, and I think a lot of people like agree with me. Yeah, too many bad films in Phase 4, and I think that sort of really hurt the brand overall. There's no clear directions, there are really bad films, and like not a lot of them have to do with the multiverse. Like you bring in the multiverse, but you barely explore it, which is kind of weird. I think the movie that explores it the most and like the best is Deadpool and Wolverine. I think that explores the multiverse really well compared to like Multiverse of Madness, which they barely scratched the surface of the multiverse in that movie. Phase 5 sort of continues the slump, but it has really more gems than Phase 4 and less content. So I think Phase 5 is a little better than Phase 4 overall, in my opinion. You don't have a good, strong start to Phase 5. Ant-Man Quantumania is just terrible. It's a really a bad film. I can't never watch this movie again. I love Paul Rudd, but I don't really like his Ant-Man character. I think he is kind of boring, and I love Evangeline Lilly as well, but I don't think that she is a really good actress. I just haven't been impressed with her outside of Lost. Yeah, I'm not surprised that she stopped acting. The Marvels is just god awful. It's my second least favorite MCU film after Thor: Love and Thunder. It's just really a bad movie. I hate it. I hate the Marvels. It's just really, really bad. Captain America: Brave New World is forgettable. It's not really all that offensive, or it's just not all that like boring, but it just could have been better. And I feel like there are so many script rewrites that like nobody really agreed on what this movie was supposed to be, and I feel kind of bad for Anthony Mackie and Harrison Ford even. I feel bad for both of them, but yeah, I think that Captain America: Brave New World was just fine. It was okay at best. The best movie of Phase 5, I think, is either Guardians 3 or Deadpool and Wolverine. I love both. I think both are really good because Guardians 3, I think, really closes out the James Gunn Guardians trilogy well. And then you got Deadpool and Wolverine, which successfully brings back Wolverine, Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, in my opinion, and I think it's a really good and entertaining Deadpool film. It goes a little maybe too far with cameos. I agree with some people that say that, but I think overall it's a damn entertaining film. I really love Deadpool and Wolverine, and I thought that Thunderbolts was really good. It was a really entertaining movie. It had a good, strong team, and it had heart too, and I was really on board with that film. I'm sad that like not a lot of people went out to see it, because that could have made easily like 700 or 800 million when like Marvel was in its prime like that movie was solid. Florence Pugh was fantastic in that movie. And you got also Phase 6 right now, which we got Fantastic Four, which is the start of Phase 6. I liked Fantastic Four, so I think that Phase 6 is off to a good start. And I feel like the MCU has sort of found its footing again. And going with Doctor Doom for Avengers Doomsday, like as a villain, I think is the best move that they could have done. Kang was just a boring villain. Like, I'm glad that they got Jonathan Majors out of there. And you have now Robert Downey Jr., which is a questionable decision. I gotta admit, I don't really see the need to have him as the villain. I think it's just gonna be weird and confusing, and I don't know. I don't really like it, but we'll see how it's handled. We'll see how the Russo brothers do it. But I am still excited for Avengers Doomsday. Number three, the original Avengers are gone. The original Avengers were the heart of the MCU. These characters had strong arcs, charisma, and chemistry. Fans grew with them over a decade. Once exited or even killed off, a massive emotional vacuum was left behind in the MCU. So I think that killing off like Black Widow was a mistake. They shouldn't have done it, or at least like you just killed Black Widow, but you don't kill Iron Man as well in the same movie. I think killing Iron Man was a big mistake on their part, and I think that also like giving Captain America an ending, making him go back in time to live his life with Peggy Carter was also a mistake, kind of, for the brand. It was a nice ending for Captain America, yeah, but I don't think that it worked for Marvel overall, in my opinion. I miss Captain America, and I think a lot of fans do. I'm not really connecting with Anthony Mackie's Captain America. I think that he's sort of bland and he has no charisma. He is nowhere near as good as Chris Evans was as Steve Rogers. And I miss Chris Evans. I think that he was kind of the heart of the MCU. And yeah, I miss the original Avengers. I miss Robert Downey Jr., Chris Evans, Chris Hemsworth, Scarlett Johansson, and Mark Ruffalo. I miss them all. And I think that they should even consider bringing them back, because I think Marvel needs them. If Marvel's going to continue on, even for two Avengers movies, I think they should bring them back. They brought back Wolverine, and I think that it worked just fine. So, whatever. Bring back Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man. Bring back Chris Evans as Captain America. I don't see it happening, but like I think that it would make people excited again. And I think that people haven't really connected to the new heroes that they've introduced. Some of them, yes, but like others, kind of like the internals, nobody really connected with them much. Moon Knight, I think a lot of people are unsure about him and how he's connected with the MCU. And like there are a lot of younger Avengers as well. I don't love everything that they've added, but we'll see in Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars. Like, I think that if they have a good, solid plan and they tie everything together really well, this new era of the MCU can still be saved in my. But I am looking forward to knowing a lot more about who the Avengers are. Who is like the main leader? Is it Anthony Mackie or is it Pedro Pascal? Yeah, I'm looking forward to knowing who it is. Number two, the movies need more variety, like rated R films. I think a lot of people agreed that the MCU suffers from the same tone, the same kind of humor, and the predictable story arcs. And I think that the audiences are sort of getting tired of the same stories in the MCU and the same kinds of movies. And I feel like different tones, kind of like rated R movies, could re energize the MCU. And I think that Deadpool and Wolverine did that. And I would like to see like a Daredevil movie rated R in the MCU, or Punisher movie rated R, or Blade movie rated R. I think that we need those in Marvel. I think that Marvel is so afraid of branching out and doing more original stuff. Like Werewolf by Night, I think was really great and satisfying and felt like an original story, and it wasn't connected to the overall MCU. It felt kind of like just a horror story, and I like that. I want more of that in the MCU. Not everything has to be the same. Just be original, be different, and like have something to say. My number one point is this: just have more standalone stories. Don't worry about connecting every little dot. Don't worry about fan service. Just make your own original story. Say what you want to say and don't worry about everything else. I think that they should hire more directors like Ryan Coogler, who directed the first Black Panther. I think that was terrific because he wasn't really concerned with the overall MCU in that movie. Made his own world, kind of like James Gunn did with Guardians of the Galaxy. With Guardians of the Galaxy, feel like their own pocket universe in Marvel, and I love it. I don't need every story to tie into the larger picture, and I think that we need more of that in this era of the MCU. And I'm glad that they're going to focus on X-Men now. I think that X-Men is just really a breath of fresh air for the MCU. It's been a long time since we've had an X-Men movie. So I feel like it's going to be needed. And I can't wait to see the new X-Men cast. I hope that they cast a good actor to play Wolverine. Everything else, I'm really excited to see the X-Men in the MCU. And we're on the right track now. I think that the box office will rise up again with Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars, depending on how people feel on Robert Downey Jr. as Doctor Doom. It all depends on that, in my opinion. So yeah, those are my top five reasons why I think Marvel is not doing well, and like the critics are liking the movies. Like they have good critics receptions, but the box office is going down in every film. And I think that those are the main reasons why. So let me know what you think the main reason why Marvel is such in a slump right now. Let me know down in comments below. Please like, comment, subscribe, and see you next time.